Namaste, Vanakkam, and welcome back to MidhaGuru. It's me Manan, the math faculty here. So today, this video lesson is the second in the question solving session of the chapter Word Problems Based on Quadratic Equations. In this video lesson, we'll be dealing with exercises 6D and 6E, both of which have miscellaneous type problems. That is, problem based on any type of problems, based on pure arithmetic, maybe based on speed, distance and time, maybe based on profit, loss and sales, or any of the other kinds. So, without further ado, let's get into the lesson. Let's begin with exercise 6D first. So, the first question says the sum S of n successive odd numbers starting from 3 is given by the relation S is equal to n into n plus 2. Determine n if the sum is 168. So, the question says that the sum of consecutive odd numbers starting with 3 is given by n into n plus 2, where n is the number of terms, that is the number of successive odd numbers. Now, according to the question, the sum is equal to 168. So, what we'll do is, instead of s, we'll write n into n plus 2 is equal to 168. So, n squared plus 2n is equal to 168, and n squared plus 2n minus 168 is equal to 0. So now we have to split plus 2n such that the product is equal to minus 168 and the sum is equal to plus 2. Let's factorize 168. 14x minus 12x minus 168 is equal to 0. Since plus 14 minus 12 gives us plus 2, and multiplying both of them, we get minus 168. Sorry, these are all in n. I'm writing them down as x, my bad. So n. So taking n as common here, we get n plus 40. Then we take minus 12 as common. Again, we get n plus 14. So now n minus 12 into n plus 14 is equal to 0. N is equal to 12 or n is equal to minus 40. Since we began with n being number of terms, we know it cannot be negative. So the number of terms is 12. So this is how we'll solve miscellaneous problems of exercise 6D. Let's move on to the next question. Now the next question tells us a fact that a stone is thrown vertically downwards and the formula d is equal to 16t square plus 40 gives the distance d meters that it falls in t seconds. So this relation d is equal to 16t square plus 40 gives us the relation between the distance that a stone falls on free fall and related to t, which is the time it takes to fall down. So it asks how long does it take to fall 420 meters. It means the distance is 420. We have to calculate the amount of time in which it will reach that 420 meters. So it is given d is equal to 16t square plus 40. Now, I'll write this t a bit different. Yeah, 80 cube. That is, according to the question, the distance is given as 420 meters. So we'll replace d with this, becomes 16t square plus 40 is equal to 420. Then bringing 420 to this side, we get minus 420 is equal to 0. Then I'll take 4 common from this equation. I'll divide it by 4, I get 40 square plus t minus is equal to 0. So now we have 40 square plus t minus 105 is equal to 0. So we have to split t such that the product is equal to minus 105 into 4 will be 420 and the sum is plus 1. So we'll write 40 square plus 21t minus 20t minus 105 is equal to 0. Here I'll take, as there is nothing else to take common, I'll take t as common. So 40 plus 21, and then I take minus 5 as common. Again I get 40 plus 21. So now we have that t minus 5 into 40 plus 21 is equal to 0. So either t is equal to 5 or t is equal to minus 21 by 4. Since t was a time, as it is given in t seconds, so t is a time period, it cannot be negative. So the t is 5 seconds. So the time taken for the stone or the ball to fall 420 meters is 5 seconds. So let's move on to the next one. Now the next question is based on the relation between two digits of a two-digit number, that is the ones place and the tens place. It says the product of the digits of a two-digit number is 24. If its unit digit exceeds twice its 10 digit by 2, find the number. So let us say we have a number such that the number in the ones place is x and the number in the tens place is y. It says that the product of these two numbers is 24, which means, according to the question, x into y is equal to 24, which means y is 24 by x. Now it says if its unit digit, that is x, exceeds twice its 10 digit by 2, which means x is equal to 2y plus 2. This is what the question is trying to say to us. So in this equation here, we will stuff the value of x up here. So what we will get is y is equal to 24 by x being 2y plus 2. Now I'll multiply this 2y plus 2 here. I'll get 2y square plus 2y is equal to 24. Then I'll divide it by 2. The entire equation, I'll get y square plus y is equal to 12. And then when I bring this side, it becomes y square plus y minus 12 is equal to 0. So now I have an equation in y and I am supposed to solve it. So I have to split 1, that is 1y, such that the coefficients add up to positive 1 and multiply to give us minus 12. So I'll write y square plus 4y minus 3y minus 12 is equal to 0. So here I take y common, I get y plus 4. Then I take minus 3 common, again I get y plus 4. So y minus 3 into y plus 4 is equal to 0. So either y is equal to 3 or y is equal to minus 4. Now since y was a digit of a number, we cannot take it to be negative. So y is 3. Now based on this relation, x is equal to twice of y being 3, that is the value we have taken, plus 2. Which makes it 6 plus 2, which will become 8. So the number is 38. And we can see that it satisfies the condition x into y is 24 because 8 into 3 will always be 24. So let's move on to the next question. Now the next question says the ages of two sisters are 11 and 14 years. In how many years time will the product of their ages be 304? Let us say presently ages are 11 years and 14 years. Now let's say after x years the ages become 11 plus x years and 14 plus x years. Now according to the question, at this point x, the product of their ages is supposed to be 304. So we'll form an equation. 11 into 14 will become 154 plus 25x plus x square is equal to 304. So I bring 304 to this side, I get x square plus 25x minus 150 is equal to 0. Because bringing 304 to one side, it becomes minus 304 and subtracting it, I get minus 150. So now I have to solve this equation. I have to split plus 25x such that the coefficients add up to positive 25 and multiply to give us 1 into minus 50, that is minus 50. So I'll write x square plus 30x minus 5x minus 150 is equal to 0. So I'll take x as common, I'll get x plus 30. Then I'll take minus 5 as common, again I'll get x plus 30, which is equal to 0. So x minus 5 into x plus 30 is equal to 0, which means x is either equal to 5 or x is equal to minus 30. Now since we took x to be a year, that is a time period, number of years, we can say that it cannot be negative. So after 5 years, since 5 is the value that we have taken, the product of their ages will be 304. So this is how we'll solve this problem. Let's move on to the next one. Now the next question says 1 year ago, a man was 8 times as old as his son. Now his age is equal to the square of his son's age. Find their present ages. So please pay careful attention to what I'm saying and what I'm going to do here. It says 1 year ago. So this 1 year ago is where we'll take the original times. Let us say 1 year ago the son's age is x years. So the father's age is x plus, oh sorry, I'm so sorry, it is 8 times of x, which will make it 8x. Now it says now his age is equal to, that is 1 year later. So presently we can say that the son's age is x plus 1 years and the father's age is 8x plus 1 years. Now according to the question, this present age, that is today, now his age is equal to the square of his son's age, which says that 8x plus 1 is equal to x plus 1 whole squared. This is the information given to us in the question, so we'll solve it according to this. We get 8x plus 1 is equal to x square plus 2x plus 1. 1 gets cancelled out and I take 2x to the other side. I get x squared is equal to 6x. I divide both sides by x and I get x is equal to 6. So originally, that is 1 year ago, their ages were 6 years, and since he was 8 times, the father was 48 years. This is the son's age and this is the father's age. So we have to find the present age. So presently they are 1 year older than the given ages. We will say 7 years is the son's age and that of the father is 49 years. Checking out the configuration, we see, yeah, that is 6 into, this is 48 years that we derived from this relation. And here we can see that after 1 year, as the question says, his age is equal to the square of his son's age. We can see that 7 years is the son's age and the father's age is 49 years. So we'll move on to the next question. Now the next question says the age of a father is twice the square of the age of his son. 8 years hence, the age of the father will be 4 years more than 3 times the age of his son. We'll try and solve this question. So now presently, at the present day, it says, let's say that the age of the father is related to that of the son. So we'll take the son's age to be the unknown. We'll say the son's age is x. Now the father's age, according to the question, is 2x squared. It says after 8 years. So after 8 years, what will happen to their ages? Son's age will be x plus 8 years. Similarly, the father's age will be 2x squared, which was his original age, plus 8 years. So now according to the question, the relationship says that the father's age after 8 years is 3 times that of his son's age increased by 4. 4 years more than 3 times the age of his son. Now if I open the brackets in this equation, I get 2x squared plus 8 is equal to 3x plus 24 plus 4. I bring all the terms to one side, I get 2x squared minus 3x and I get 20, I get minus 20 is equal to 0. So now I have the equation. So let me check. 2x squared plus 8, 3x I bring to the other side. Yeah. So 2x squared minus 3x minus 20 is equal to 0. Now I have to split minus 3 such that the sum of the products, sum of the coefficients is minus 3 and the product of the coefficients is minus 40. So we will write 2x squared minus 8x plus 5x minus 20 is equal to 0. Here I take 2x as common, I get x minus 4. Then I take plus 5 as common, again I get x minus 4. So 2x plus 5 into x minus 4 is equal to 0. So either x is equal to minus 5 by 2 or x is equal to 4 years. So since it's an age, that is a time period, it cannot be negative. So we'll take the year, that is the answer, 4 years. So the son's age, that is the present age, is 4 years. And that of his father is 2 into 4 squared, which is 2 into 16 will be 32 years. And these are the present ages of both of them. Let's see the next question now. Now the next question, it says the speed of a boat in still water is 15 kilometers per hour. It can go 30 kilometers upstream and return downstream to the original point in 4 hours and 30 minutes. Find the speed of the stream. Here you have to understand that in a stream, water flows in a certain direction. So when the boat moves against it, that we call upstream, now the velocity or the speed of the water is acting against the boat. So it effectively decreases the speed of the boat. When the boat is moving along with the speed that is in the direction of the stream itself, this is known as downstream. This time the speed of the water pushes the boat more, that is the speed increases. So the speed while going upstream is 15 minus, let's say the speed of the stream is x kilometer per hour, and that while coming downstream is 15 plus x. So now the time taken to go upstream should be the total distance, that is 30 by 15 minus x, and the time taken to come downstream should be the total distance, which is also 30 by 15 plus x. Now according to the question, these two times, that is once to go upstream and once to come back downstream, the boat takes 4.5 hours, that is 4 or 30 minutes, which you can write as 4.5 hours. Now we'll take the LCM here as 15 minus x into 15 plus x. Then up we'll multiply 30 into 15 plus x, and then 30 to 15 minus x. This is equal to 9 by 2. Now I have 450 plus 30x plus 450 minus 30x by 225 minus x square, since a minus b into a plus b will give us a square minus b square. So I have 9 by 2. So this side 30x and 30x get cancelled out. We have 900 by 225 minus x square is equal to 9 by 2. So now 9 will go into this by 9 times. So 2 gets multiplied up here, we get 200 is equal to 225 minus x squared. So I'll bring x squared to this side to make it positive and take 200 to that side, it will become negative. So 225 minus 200 is 25. Now x will either be plus or minus the square root of 25, which is 5. Now since we took x to be a speed, we will not consider the negative value. So x will be 5 km per hour, which is the speed of the stream. So now let's move on to the next question. Now the next question says, Mr. Mehra sends his servant to the market to buy oranges worth rupees 50. Servant having eaten 3 oranges on the way, Mr. Mehra pays 25 paise per orange more than the market price. Taking x to the number of my oranges which Mr. Mehra receives, form a quadratic equation in x. Mr. Mehra receives x oranges, but originally his servant had bought x plus 3 oranges. So now if we calculate the cost of 1 orange for which Mr. Mehra received, it would be 15 by x, since the total price was 15 and he got x oranges. But the original cost of 1 orange is 15 by x plus 3. Now since this cost is lower and this will be higher, according to the question, the difference between these prices is 25 paise, which we can write as 25 by 100 rupees, which will be 1 by 4 rupees. So now we'll solve this equation. We'll take x into x plus 3 as the LCM. We have 15 into x plus 3 minus 15x, which is equal to 1 by 4. We'll get 15x plus 45 minus 15x by x square plus 3x, which is equal to 1 by 4. We'll cancel out 15x and 15x. Then we'll multiply 4 up here and this up here. We'll get 180 is equal to x square plus 3x, which means x square plus 3x minus 180 is equal to 0. Now here is the quadratic equation that we are supposed to solve. So we can split it as x square plus 15x minus 12x minus 180 is equal to 0. Now taking x as common in the first two, will get x plus 15, and then taking minus 12 as common, again I'll get x plus 15. So x plus 15 into x minus 12 is equal to 0, which means x is either equal to minus 15 or x is equal to 12. Since x was the number of oranges, it cannot be negative. So the number of oranges that Mr. Mehra received were 12. So this is how we'll solve this problem. So let's move on to the next one. Next question says rupees 250 is divided equally among a certain number of children. If there were 25 children more, each would have received 50 paise less. Find the number of children. So we say let the number of children be x. So what does each get? Each gets 250 by x. Now in the new way, the number of children is x plus 25. Now in this case, each share would be 250 by x plus 25. Now since x plus 25 is greater than x, this fraction, that is this share, is going to be lesser, and the question says it is lesser by 50 paise. So we'll see that according to the question, 250 by x minus 250 by x plus 25 is equal to 50 paise, which you can write as half a rupee. So taking the LCM as x into x plus 25 and multiplying 250 to x plus 25 minus 250x is equal to a half. So we have 250x plus 250 into 25, which will give us 6250, minus 250x divided by x square plus 25x, which is equal to 1 by 2. So minus 250 and minus plus 250 get cancelled. We multiply this up here and this up here. We get x square plus 25x is equal to 125. That is 12,500. Bringing all to one side, we get x square plus 25x minus 12,500 is equal to 0. So I'll split it into 125x minus 100x. Since adding these two coefficients, 100 minus 100 and plus 125, I get 25, and multiplying them I get 12,500. So I take x as common here, I get x plus 125. Then I take minus 100 as common, again I get x plus 125. So either x minus 100 into x plus 125 is equal to 0. So either x is equal to 100 or x is equal to 120 minus 125. Since x is a number of children, this cannot be negative. So the number of children is 100. So let's move on to the next question. Now the next question says, an employer finds that if he increases the weekly wages of each worker by ₹5 and employs 5 workers less, he increases his weekly wage bill from ₹3150 to ₹3250. Taking the originally weekly wage of each worker as ₹x, obtain an equation x and then solve it to find the weekly wages of each worker. So it is given that the weekly wage of each worker is ₹x. So the number of workers originally would be 3150 by how much he was paying each worker. Now after the change, this was decreased by 5. This was increased by 5 and the number of workers. So the new number of workers is 3250 by x minus 5. Now the question says that the weekly wages increased by 5. Sorry, I wrote x minus 5. This is x plus 5. Now it says that he employed 5 workers less, which means here the number of workers is going to be lesser. So this means that 3150, according to the question, this means 3150 by x minus 3250 by x plus 5 is equal to 5. We will form an equation from this. We will take the LCM as x into x plus 5. We have 3150 into x plus 5 minus 3250 x, which is equal to 5. So the equation we'll have is 3150x plus 50 minus 3250x by x into x plus 5, which is still equal to 5. So we'll take this x into x plus 5 to the other side and bring 5 down here. 3150 minus 3250 gives us, this is 15,750 minus 100 x divided by 5, which is equal to x square plus 5x. Dividing this by 5, we get 3150. And this will get 20x is equal to x square plus 5x. Bringing all to one side, we have x square plus 25x, since this becomes plus 20x, minus 3150 is equal to 0. So now we have to solve this quadratic equation to get the value of x. Now we'll split plus 25 such that the sum of the coefficient is 25 and the product is minus 3150. So 60x minus 35x minus 3150 is equal to 0. So we take x as common, we get x plus 60. Take minus 35 as common, again we get x plus 60. So now we have x minus 35 into x plus 60 gives us 0. So x is either equal to 35 or x is equal to minus 60. Since x in the question is the rupees, that is the value of money, it cannot be negative, the value will be 35. So the weekly wages of each worker is rupees 35. So let's move on to the next question. The next question says a trader bought a number of articles for rupees 1200. 10 were damaged and he sold each of the remaining articles at rupees 2 more than what he paid for it, thus getting a profit of rupees 60 on the whole transaction. So we are supposed to find the number of articles that he purchased. Let us say let the number of articles be x. So now what he paid for each, that is the cost of each, should be 1200 by x. Now since 10 were damaged, the new number of articles is x minus 10. And he sold them at 2 rupees more than what he paid for. The selling price of all these articles is x minus 10 into 1200 by x plus 2. Since the selling price is 2 more than the cost price. So from here we'll get x minus 10 into 1200 plus 2x by x. And this SP is nothing but 60 profit, that is 1200 plus 60 rupees profit. So now we'll solve this equation. We'll get 1260, we'll bring x to this side, it gets x is equal to x into 1200 is 12,000x, 1200x plus x into 2x is 2x squared minus 12,000 minus 20x. Bringing all to any one side of the equation, we get 2x squared. We bring this to this side, this gets minus 1280, so this becomes minus 80x minus 12,000. So if I divide the equation by 2, I get x square minus 40x minus 6000 is equal to 0. So I have to form an equation that is by breaking down this minus 40 such that the coefficients add up to minus 40 but multiply to give minus 6000. So we'll write minus 100x plus 60x minus 6000, because minus 100 plus 60 gives us minus 40 and multiplying them give it minus 6000. We take x as common, I get x minus 100. Then I take 60 as common, again I get x minus 100. So taking x plus 60 as common, we multiply it by x minus 100, we get 0. So x is either equal to minus 60 or x is equal to 100. So since x is a number of articles, we cannot take it as the negative. So the number of articles is 100. So now let's move on to the next question. Now the next question says the total cost of price of a certain number of articles, identical articles, is rupees 4800. By selling the articles at rupees 100 each, a profit equal to the cost price of 15 articles is made. Find the number of articles bought. So again we say let the number be x, that is x number of articles. So the cost price of each article is 4800 by x. Now the selling price is said to be 100 rupees. So 100x minus 4800, which is the total cost price, it says is equal to the 15 times the cost price of 15 articles, which is 4800 by x into 15. This is according to the question. So now we multiply x up here, we get 100x squared minus 4800x is equal to 4800 into 15, which will be, we'll divide the whole equation by 100, we get x squared minus 48x is equal to 720. Bringing all the terms to one side, we get x squared minus 48x minus 720 is equal to 0. Now I have to break down minus 48 such that the coefficients give us a sum of minus 48 and a product of minus 720. So I'll do minus 60x plus 12x minus 720 is equal to 0. Since minus 60 plus 12 gives us minus 48, and multiplying them we get minus 720. So I take x as common, I get x minus 60. Then I take 12 as common, again I get x minus 60. So x minus 60 into x plus 12 is equal to 0. So x is either equal to 60 or x is equal to minus 12. Again, we took x to be a number of articles. So number of articles cannot be negative. So the number of articles is 60. So this brings us to the end of exercise 6D. So now we will see the solutions of the last and the miscellaneous exercise 6E. So let's get into it. So let's begin with the solutions of exercise 6E. First question says, distance by road between two towns is 216 kilometers and by rail it is 208 kilometers. Car travels at a speed of x and the train travels at a speed 16 km per hour faster. We have to calculate the time taken by the car to reach between the towns, the time taken by the train, both of these in terms of x, and then we'll solve the equation given that the difference between the two times is 2 hours. So the speed taken by the car is x kilometers per hour. So the speed of the train is x plus 16 kilometers per hour. Now the time taken by the car would be 216, which is the distance, by x plus 16. And the time taken by the train would be 208, since the distance by rail is 208 by, this is by x, and this will be x plus 16. Now we found this, the time taken by both of them in terms of x. Now according to the question, the difference between these times is 2 hours. And since the train is traveling a lower distance at a higher speed, it is going to take the lesser time. So we'll say 216 by x minus 208 by x plus 16 is equal to 2, since the time difference is 2 hours. Second. Yeah. So we have 216 into x plus 16. Since I take the LCM as x into x minus 16, x plus 16, and this will be 208 x into x plus 16, which is equal to 2. Now 200 into 16 into x is 216 x plus so it will be 8x plus 3456 by x square plus 16x is equal to 2. So I'll divide up here by 2. This becomes 4 and this becomes 1728. So now the new equation formed is, if we bring x square plus 16x to this side, we get 4x plus 1728 is equal to x square plus 16x. Bringing all the terms to one side, we'll get x square plus 12x minus 1728 is equal to 0. Now we'll solve this equation by breaking down 12 such that the sum of the coefficients is plus 12 and the product is minus 1728. 48. So we will write x square plus 48x minus 36x minus 1728 is equal to 0. Since 48 minus 36 gives us plus 12 and 48 into minus 36 gives us minus 1728. Taking x as common here and taking minus 36 as common here, we get x minus 36 into x plus 48 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 36 or x is equal to minus 48. So since x is a speed, it cannot be negative. So the speed of the car is 36 kilometers per hour. And since the speed of the train is 12 more, it is 48 kilometers per hour. So these are the speeds of the two different vehicles. Let's move on to the next question. Now the next question says, a trader buys X articles for a total cost of rupees 600. Write down the cost of one article in terms of X. If the cost per article were rupees 5 more, the number of articles that can be bought for rupees 600 would be 4 less. Write down the equation in X for the above situation and solve it for X. So let's start by forming the equation first. First of all, it says number of articles that was sold, let's say bought originally, is X. Now in the second case it says it is 4 less. So the new number of articles becomes X minus 4. And it says the difference in this cost is rupees 5. Let us say the CP originally was 600 by X for each article. Now the CP new X minus 4. Now since X minus 4 is less than X, which means this fraction, since X minus 4 is the denominator, it's going to be greater than 600 minus X. So 600 by x minus 4 minus 600 by x. This is the new CP, this is the old CP, and according to the question the difference is 5 rupees. So this is the equation in terms of x that we need to solve to find x. So taking x minus 4 by into x as the LCM, we get x minus 4 into x, 600x minus 600 into x minus 4 is equal to 5. So we have 600x minus 600x, this becomes plus 2400 since it is minus 4, by x square minus 4x is equal to 5. So 600 and 600 get cancelled out and we can get 5 into 2400, 480 times. Taking x square minus 4x there, we get x square minus 4x is equal to 480. So x square minus 4x minus 480 is equal to 0. So now we split minus 4 such that the product is minus 480 and the sum is minus 4. Yeah, 24x plus 20x minus 480 is equal to 0. So x minus 24 plus 20 to x minus 24 is equal to 0, which means x plus 20 into x minus 24 is equal to 0. So x is either equal to minus 20 or equal to 24. Now since x was a number of articles, it cannot be negative. So x will be equal to 24, and that is the solution for the given equation. Let's move on to the next problem. Next question says a hotel bill for a number of people for overnight stay is rupees 4800. If there were 4 people more, the bill each person had to pay would have reduced by 200. Find the number of people staying overnight. Now since the total bill remains same, cost for each person, originally this would be 4800 by, we don't know the number of people, we take it as x. Now the cost for each person in the new case, since the number of people has increased and it has increased by 4, will be 4800 by x plus 4. Now since x plus 4 is greater than x, which means 4800 by x, since x is in the denominator, will be a greater fraction. Now this difference is equal to 200 rupees. Since originally they had to pay this much, now they have to pay this much, and the difference is said to be 200. So we'll form the question. This is according to the question. Now we'll form the equation taking the LCM as x into x plus 4. So here we have 4800 into x plus 4 minus 4800 x. We cut off 4800 and 4800x, get 200. We cut off 2 here, zeros, and 2 we can cut off in this as 24. So we have 24 into 4, which will be equal to 96 by x square plus 4x is equal to 1. Now we bring this up here, we get x square plus 4x is equal to 96, which implies x square plus 4x minus 96 is equal to 0. So this is the equation we need to solve to get the value for x, that is the number of people. So we split plus 4 such that the product is equal to minus 96 and the sum is equal to plus 4. Square plus 12x minus 8x minus 96 is equal to 0. Take x as common, we get x plus 12, minus 8 as common, we get x plus 12 again. So we have x plus 12 into x minus 8 is equal to 0. So x is either equal to minus 12 or equal to 8. Since x was a number of people, it cannot be negative. So the value of x is 8. Originally there were 8 people in the hotel, which means they would have to pay 600 rupees each. But if the number increased by 4, that is there were 12 people, 4800 by 12 would give us 400, which is 200 less, and that is how it satisfies our equation. So let's move on to the next question. The next question says an aeroplane traveled a distance of 400 km and an average speed of x kilometers per hour. On the return journey, the speed was increased by 40 kilometers per hour. Write down an expression for the time taken for the onward journey and the return journey in terms of x. Now it says if the return journey took 30 minutes less than the onward journey, write down the equation in x and find its value. First things first, we take out the time taken for the original journey, that is the onward journey. It was 400 by x. And the time taken for the return journey was 400 by x plus 40. Now according to the question, this time difference is 30 minutes. So TO minus TR is equal to 30 minutes, which will convert to hours. By dividing by 60, we get 1 by 2. So we have, just a second, पेन फंस गया, इसको कट करके फिर डाल देना ना. 400 by x minus 400 by x plus 40 is equal to 1 by 2. So we have 400 into x plus 40 minus 400x is equal to 1 by 2. We can cut off this x as it will be 400x and the bracket opens, this is minus 400x. So we have 16,000 by x square plus 40x is equal to 1 by 2, which means x square plus 40x is equal to 32,000. Bringing it to this side, we have x square plus 40x minus 32,000 is equal to 0. Now we are supposed to find two values, that is divide plus 40 such that the addition of the coefficient gives us plus 40 and the product gives us minus 32,000. Just let me think for a minute. It will take x square plus since yeah. So this will be the factorization. So here we'll take x's common, you get x plus 200. Then we take minus 160s common, again we get x plus 200. So x plus 200 into x minus 160 is equal to 0. So x is either equal to minus 200 or positive 160. Since x was a speed, it cannot be negative. So this is the speed we must take. It is 160 kilometers per hour. That was the original speed of the airplane. That is on the onward journey. Let's move on to the next question. The next question says, rupees 6,500 was divided equally among a certain number of persons. Had there been 15 persons more, each would have got rupees 30 less. Find the original number of persons. So let the number of people be x. So originally 6,500 was divided among x people. So the original share is 6,500 by x. Now the new share, since 15 persons have been added, is 6,500 by x plus 15. Now each gets 30 less. So according to the question, since x plus 15 is greater than x, so this fraction, that is 6,500 by x, will be greater. We do 6,500 by x minus 6,500 by x plus 15 is equal to 30. That's what the question tells us. So we take the LCM as x into x plus 15. Now we have 6,500 into x plus 15 minus 6,500, x is equal to 30. So when I open this bracket here, I get 6,500x. So I'll cancel out x since this is minus 6,500x. I cut off this 0 here and nothing else happens. So now I have the equation 650 into 15 is equal to, I'll multiply the down terms here, it will get x square plus 15x. So we have 650 into, oh sorry, I'm writing that again, just cut it off here as 5. So we have 650 into 5 will be 3,000. 3250 is equal to x square plus 15x. So I take to one side, I get x square plus 15x minus 3250 is equal to 0. Now I'll split 15 such that the sum of the coefficients is plus 15 and the product is minus 3250. So we have 65x minus 50x minus 3250 is equal to 0. So you take x as common, you get x plus 65 minus 50 as common, again we get x plus 65. X minus 50 into x plus 65 is equal to 0. So x is either equal to 50 or minus 65. Now we took x to be a number of people, so it cannot be negative. So the original number of persons were 50. So now let's move on to the next question. The next question says, a plane left 30 minutes later than the scheduled time, and in order to reach its destination 1500 km away in time, it has to increase its speed by 250 km per hour. Find its usual speed. So you have to understand that the plane is leaving 30 minutes later, but it reaches on time, which means that this new speed, that is, if we take the original speed to be x, so x plus 250, at that speed the plane reaches 30 minutes earlier than normal, which means the difference between the two times based on the original speed and the new speed is 30 minutes. So let the speed original be x kilometers per hour, so speed new will be x plus 250. Similarly, the original time taken would have been the total distance by the speed, and the new time taken will be the total distance by the new speed. So now, according to this question, the difference in these two times is half hour. 30 minutes, which we divide by 60 to convert to hour, and we get 1 by 2. Substituting the values, we get 1500 by x minus 1500 by x plus 250 is equal to 1 by 2. We have it into x plus 250. Here we have 1500 into x plus 250 minus 1500 x. Again, if we open this bracket here, x gets cancelled. So we have x square plus 250x, and this 2 will multiply up here, that is to this term. So we'll get 7,50,000 is equal to x square plus 250x. Bringing the term to one side, we get x square plus 250x minus 750,000 or 7,50,000. So now splitting plus 250 such that the two coefficients give us a product of minus 70, that is 7,50,000, and a sum of plus 250. So we'll do 1000x minus 750x minus 7,50,000. Take x as common, we get x plus 1000. And taking minus 750 as common, again we get x plus 1000. So x minus 750 into x plus 1000 is equal to 0. So x is either equal to 750 or equal to minus 1000. Since x was a speed, it cannot be negative. So the original speed of the plane was 750 kilometers per hour. Now let's move on to the next problem question. Now the next question says two trains leave a railway station at the same time. The first train travels due west and the second train due north. The first train travels 5 km per hour faster than the second train. If after 2 hours they are 50 km apart, find the speed of each train. So now you have to understand that from this point, let's say this is the town they both are leaving from, train 1 is leaving in this direction. Now the other train is leaving in this direction. That says after 2 hours this distance is 50 kilometers. So let us say the original, the train that is going due north, or sorry, the train that is going due west travels at a speed of x, which means this distance is x into 2. Similarly, if this train is traveling speed of 5 kilometers faster, it is x plus 5, and this is also into 2. So if you can see, this kind of forms a right triangle, and using the Pythagoras theorem is how we are going to solve this question. So the speed of the first train is x kilometers per hour, speed of the second train is x plus 5 kilometers per hour. So now according to the question, 2x whole squared plus 2x plus 10, as 2 into x plus 5 is 2x plus 10 whole squared, is equal to 50 squared. That is what the Pythagoras theorem says. Since this is the base and the perpendicular, the sum of their squares is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. We have 4x squared plus 4x squared plus 100 plus 20x 40x is equal to 2500. Now we have 8x squared plus 40x, bringing 2500 to this side, we get minus 2400 is equal to 0. We divide the entire equation by 8, we get x squared plus 5x minus 300 is equal to 0. Now we split plus 5 such that the sum of the coefficients is plus 5 and the difference, the product of the coefficients is minus 300. 20x minus 15x minus 300 is equal to 0. So taking x's common here, we get x plus 20 minus 15s common here, we get x plus 20. So now we have x plus 20 into x minus 15 is equal to 0, which means x is either equal to minus 20 or 15. Now since we took x to be a speed, it cannot be negative. So the speed of the first train, that is the train traveling due west, is 15 kilometers per hour. And the speed of the train traveling due north is 15 plus 5, which will be 20 kilometers per hour. So now let's move on to the next question. Next question says the sum S of first n even natural numbers is given by the relation S is equal to n into n plus 1. Find n if the sum is 420. So it says that S is equal to n into n plus 1. If we do that, it gets n squared plus n. Now according to the question, the sum is equal to 420, which means 420 is equal to n squared plus n. So we bring 420 to the other side of the equation, we get minus 420. So we split plus n into such that the two coefficients add up to give plus 1 and they produce minus 420 as a product. So we write down 21n minus 20n minus 420 is equal to 0. So now taking n as common here, I get n plus 21, and then taking minus 20 as common, again I get n plus 21. So I say n minus 20 into n plus 21 is equal to 0. So n is either equal to 20 or minus 21. Now since n is a number, that is, it is a quantity of even natural numbers, it cannot be negative. So the number of even natural numbers added to give 420 is 20. Now let's move on to the next question. Next question says the sum of the ages of a father and his son is 45 years. 5 years ago, the product of their ages in years was 124. Determine their present ages. So what we will say is, let one of their ages, let's take the son's age to be x. So the father's age, since it says the sum of their ages is 45, will be 45 minus x, since adding both of them will give us 45. Now it says 5 years ago. First of all, what will be the son's age 5 years ago? It will be x minus 5. That is the son's age. And the father's age will be 45 minus x minus 5, which will be 40 minus x. Now according to the question, the product of these two ages, that is x minus 5 into 40 minus x, is equal to 124. On opening these brackets, we get 40x minus x squared minus 200 plus 5x is equal to 124. Taking all the terms to any one side, we get x squared minus 45x plus 76 is equal to 0. Second, yeah, x squared, this will be minus 45 and minus, oh, this won't be, this will be 324, since this becomes plus 2. So it is, the new equation is x squared minus 45x plus 324 is equal to 0. Now I split minus 45 such that the product given to us will be plus 324 and the sum will be minus 45. So we'll do x square minus 36x minus 9x plus 324 is equal to 0. Since adding them gives us minus 45 and producing them, that is multiplying them, gives us plus 324. So x will either be equal to 9 or 36. Don't be confused, as here both the values are real and positive. They are rational, they are natural numbers and they both are positive. So both of them can be the right answer, right? We could have taken the father's age to be x, we could have taken the son's age to be x. That is why we get to such values. So if you look at the son's age, we took it as x, and now if you see, if we take it as 9, the father's age will be 36. And if we take the son's age as 36, the father's age will become 9. So for convention's sake, as we know father cannot be younger than his son, we'll take the son's age to be 9. Now the father's age will be 45 minus 9, which will be equal to 36 years. If you want to check, 5 years ago, this guy's age would have been 4 and his age would have been 31. So 31 into 4 would have given us 124. So now let's move on to the next question. The next question says, in an auditorium, seats were arranged in rows and columns. The numbers of rows was equal to the number of seats in each row. Just imagine we arrange the seats in rows in each row. We arrange that 1, 1, 1. So when you look at it this way, there are many rows of chairs, and like this there are columns of chairs. So it says that the columns are equal to the number of rows. Now it says that when the number of rows was doubled and the number of seats in each row was reduced by when the number of rows was doubled and the number So now the next question says, in an auditorium, seats were arranged in rows and columns. The number of rows was equal to the number of seats in each row. When the number of rows was doubled and the number of seats in each row was reduced by 10, the number of seats increased by 300. Find the number of rows in the original and in the rearrangement. So what we are supposed to do is first of all understand that if there are rows, there are so many rows of chairs, and each row also has some chairs. These are the columns. So what the question says is, these rows, let us say they are x, are equal to the number of columns, which will also be x. So the number of seats originally would have been x in each of x rows, that is x into x, which would be x squared. Now after the rearrangement, the number of seats changed, the number of rows became, as it says, it became double, so x into 2. And the number of seats in each row, that is the number of columns, was reduced by 10. So this will be equal to 2x into x minus 10, which will be equal to 2x squared minus 20x. Now if you can understand, it says the number of seats increased. So in this new configuration, the number of seats increased by 300, which means the new number of seats minus the original number of seats will give us 300. From this we get the equation x square minus 20x is equal to 300. Now if we bring 300 to the other side, we get x square minus 20x minus 300 is equal to 0. Excuse me. So we have to split minus 20 such that the two coefficients add up to minus 20 and produce minus 300. So we get x square minus 30x plus 10x minus 300 is equal to 0. We take x as common, x minus 30, and then we take plus 10 as common, again we get x minus 30. So now we have x plus 10 into x minus 30 is equal to 0. So x is either equal to minus 10 or equal to 30. Since x is the number of chairs or number of rows of chairs, we cannot take it to be negative. So the original number of seats would have been x squared. Since the value of x is 30, we know 30 squared, which is 900. Now after the rearrangement, the number of rows became 2 into x, which would become 60, and the number of rows in each seats in each row became 20, and this is equal to 1200. So after rearrangement, the number of seats was increased to 1200. Originally the seats were 900 and after rearrangement they became 1200. Let's move on to the next question. Next question says, Mohan takes 16 days less than Manoj to do a piece of work. If both can together can do it in 15, in how many days will Mohan alone complete the work? As it says Mohan takes 16 days less than Manoj, we can also consider that Manoj takes 16 days more than Mohan. So we'll take let Mohan completes the work, treating the work as one unit, we'll say completes work in x days. So if we treat the work as one unit and divide this side and this side by x, we get Mohan completes 1 by x work in 1 day. Similarly, Manoj, as we deduce that he does, Manoj does as Mohan does in 16 days less, so Manoj does in 16 days more than Mohan. So Mohan completes work in x plus 16 days. Sorry, Manoj. I'm saying Mohan, but I'm writing Manoj. It's anyways Manoj. Again, we divide both sides by this by x plus 16. We get x plus 16 work in 1 day. Now, if both can complete work in 15 days. Dividing now both sides by 15, we can do both can complete 1 by 15 work in 1 day. And this is what we require. Since he works this much in 1 day and he works this much in 1 day, and both of them together can do this, it means, according to the question, this would mean that 1 by x plus 1 by x plus 16 is equal to 1 by 15. We'll form the equation from here and we'll try to solve it. So here we get x into x plus 16 and x plus 16 plus x is equal to 1 by 15. So we have 2x plus 16 by x square plus 16x is equal to 1 by 15. So we multiply this 15 up here, we get 30x plus 15 into 16 will be 240, and we'll multiply x square plus 16x up here. So now bringing all the terms to one side, taking 30 to this side, it becomes minus. So x square minus 14x, and this also becomes minus 240 is equal to 0. So we need to split minus 14 such that the coefficients add up to minus 14 and produce minus 240. So x square minus 24x plus 10x minus 240 is equal to 0, which means x into x minus 24 plus 10 into x minus 24 is equal to 0, which implies x plus 10 into x minus 24 is equal to 0. So x is either equal to minus 10 or equal to 24. Since x was a number of days, it cannot be taken as negative. So we now know that Mohan completes the work in 24 days. So now let's move on to the next one. Now the next question says, 2 years ago a man's age was 3 times the square of his son's age. In 3 years time his age will be 4 times his son's age. Find their present ages. So here I need you to apply a little bit of logic that if it takes 2 years ago and then 3 years later, the time gap will be 5 years. So we'll start by taking x in 2 years ago. Now as the first statement suggests, the man's age is connected to his son's age. So we'll take, let the son's age is x. Now it says the father's age, that is the man's age, is 3 times the square of his son's age. So 3 times the square of his son's age. Now in 3 years time, that is from the present in 3 years time, which means 5 years later, son's age becomes x plus 5 and the father's age becomes 3x square plus 5. Now it says in 3 years time, according to the question, his age will be 4 times. So according to the question, this implies that 3x square plus 5 is equal to 4 times x plus 5. On opening the bracket, we get 3x square plus 5 is equal to 4x plus 20. Bring all the terms to one side, you get 3x square minus 4x minus 15 is equal to 0. So now we have 3x square minus 4x minus 15 is equal to 0. We have to split minus 4 such that it gives us a sum of minus 4, the two coefficients, and they produce 3 into 15, which will be minus 45. So we split it into minus 9x plus 5x minus 15 is equal to 0. Since minus 9 into plus 5 gives us minus 45 and add up to minus 4. So we take 3x common here, we get x minus 3. Then we take 5x common here, we get x minus 3. So 3x plus 5 into x minus 3 is equal to 0, which means x is either equal to minus 5 by 3 or x is equal to 3. Since x was an age, we cannot take it to be negative. So we'll take x as 3. Now remember that the son's age 2 years ago was x. So let's calculate for 2 years ago first. X is equal to 3 years. So the son's age is 3 years and the father's age is, son's age. Now the father's age is equal to 3x squared, which will be 3 into 9, 27 years. Now it says find their present ages. So the present age is 2 years later. So the son's age will be 3 plus 2, which will be 5 years. And the father's age will be 27 plus 2, which will be 29 years. And these will be their present day ages. So let's move on to the next question. The next question says, in a certain positive fraction, the denominator is greater than the numerator by 3. If 1 is subtracted from the numerator and the denominator both, the fraction reduces by 1 by 40. Find the fraction. So let us say the numerator is x. Now it says the denominator is x plus 3. So the fraction, that is the original fraction, is equal to x by x plus 3. Now it says if the new, that is the new fraction, how is it formed? We subtract 1 from both the numerator and the denominator. So x plus 3 minus 1 will give us x plus 2. Now it says it is reduced by 14, which means this was larger. So according to the question, x by x plus 3 minus x minus 1 by x plus 2 is equal to 1 by 14. So we'll try to solve this. Here we take the LCM to be x plus 3 into x plus 2. Up here we'll multiply x to x plus 2 and x minus 1 to x plus 3. And this will all give us 1 by 14. So this will be x square plus 2x minus x square. We'll also get 2x here minus 3. And down here we'll get x square plus 5x plus 6, which is equal to 1 by 14. So we know these two will cancel out. 2x and 2x will also cancel out. All we have up here is 3. So we have x square plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 1 by 14. We multiply 14 up there and x square all the terms here. We get 42 is equal to x square plus 5x plus 6. Now what we'll do is we'll bring 42 to this side. So the new equation is x square plus 5x minus 36 is equal to 0. Now we'll split plus 5 such that the product is minus 36. So we'll write 9x minus 4x minus 36 is equal to 0. So we take x as common, then you take minus 4 as common. So we get x minus 4 into x plus 9 is equal to 0. So x is either equal to 4 or equal to minus 9. Now since it says it's a positive fraction, we'll take the value x is equal to 4. So the fraction will be x by x plus 3, which will be 4 by 7. If you want to verify, if you minus 1 from each, we get 3 by 6. Taking the LCM as 42, we get 24 minus 3 will multiply 21. 3 by 42, which you divide, it becomes 1 by 40. So there's a verification for our answer. So let's move on to the next question. The next question says in a 2-digit number, the 10th digit is bigger. The product of the 2 digits is 27 and the difference between the 2 digits is 6. For this, let us first take a number, tens and ones. It says that let's say the 10th digit is x and the odd 1 digit is y. It says the 10th digit is bigger. Now it says, according to the question, that x into y is equal to 27. And the difference, since the 10th digit is bigger, is equal to 6. From x into y, we will deduce that y is equal to 27 by x. So we'll substitute this value into this equation here. We'll get x minus 27 by x, x is equal to 6. So taking the LCM as x, we get x square minus 27 is equal to 6, which forms the equation x square minus 27 is equal to 6x. Now I bring 6 to this side, I get x square minus 6x minus 27 is equal to 0. Now I have to split minus 6, so I'll split it into minus 9 plus 3x minus 27 is equal to 0. Taking x as common, I get x minus 9, and taking plus 3 as common, again I get x minus 9. So x plus 3 into x minus 9 is equal to 0. So we have x as either minus 3 or 9. Since it says it's a 2-digit number, and conventionally we don't take numbers to be, counting numbers to be negative, so we'll take the value 9. Now it says that y is equal to 27 by x, which is 9, so we'll get 3. So the number will be 93. This will be the number that satisfies our given equation, the question. So let's move on to the next one. So now it says that some school children went on an excursion by bus to a picnic spot at a distance of 300 kilometers. While returning, it was raining and the bus had reduced its speed by 5 kilometers per hour and it took 2 hours longer for return. Find the time taken to return. So we have to find the time. But what we will do is we'll take the speed to be x. That is the original speed. So the speed original was x. So the speed on the return was x minus 5. Now the time taken originally would have been 300 by x. The time taken for the return would have been 300 by x minus 5. Since x and x minus 5 in the denominator, you need to understand that x minus 5 is less than x. So this fraction will be bigger. Now according to the question, it says this time. So we have 300 by x minus 5. If we subtract the original time, the time difference is 2 hours. From here we'll try and form an equation. We'll get x minus 5 into x, 300 into x minus 300 into x minus 5, which is equal to 2. When we open this bracket, we know 300x minus 300 into x will become 300x, and since it's in minus, we can cancel this out. So when we open the bracket, it looks like minus 300 into minus 5, which will be equal to 1500 by x square minus 5x, which is equal to 2. 2 will go into 1500, 750 times. Multiplying this up here, we get x square minus 5x is equal to 750. So bringing 750 to this side, we get x square minus 5x minus 750 is equal to 0. So now I need to split minus 5 such that the product gives us minus 750 and the sum gives us 5 and 30. So we'll write x square minus 30x plus 25x minus 750 is equal to 0. Taking x as common and then taking 25 as common. So we get x plus 25 into x minus 30 is equal to 0. So we have x is either equal to minus 25 or x is equal to 30. Now since the speed was x, it says find the time taken to return. So the speed returning will become 25 kilometers per hour since it is x minus 5. So we need to take out the time taken for the return, which will be 300 by 25, and this will be equal to 12 hours. And when it went on the original speed of 30, it would have reached in 10 hours. So the time difference is 2 hours. So let's move on to the next question. So now the next question says rupees 480 is divided equally among x children. If the number of children were 20 more, then each would have got rupees 12 less. Find x. So now the question says that the original number of students or children was x. And now the new number according to the question would be x plus 20. So the original share of each kid would have been 480 by x. Now this new share for each of them is 480 by x plus 20. So now according to the question, the difference between these two shares, since when the number of kids was less they would get more, is rupees 12. So based on that, we'll solve this quadratic equation. We'll get 480x plus 480 into 20 minus 480x is equal to 12. So minus 480 and plus 480x get cancelled. 12 goes into 480 40 times. So we have x square plus 20x. By multiplying this up here and leaving this here, we get 800. Or we can write it as x square plus 20x minus 800 is equal to 0. So now I need to split 20x into two coefficients. I split them into 40 and minus 20. Since adding them gives us positive 20 and multiplying them gives us minus 800. Now taking x as common here, I get x plus 40. Taking 20 as common here, I get x plus 40 again. So we have x plus 40 into x minus 20, which is equal to 0. So x is either equal to minus 40 or equal to 20. Since x was the number of children, we'll take the positive value. So the number of children originally was 20. So now let's move on to the next question. The next question says a bus covers a distance of 240 kilometers at a uniform speed. Due to heavy rain, its speed gets reduced by 10 kilometers per hour, and as such, it takes 2 hours longer to cover the total distance. Assuming the uniform speed to be x kilometers per hour, form an equation and solve it to evaluate x. So now we are going to solve this question to find the original speed of the bus. Now let's take the onward journey as O and the return journey as R. Let us say that the speed was x and here the speed became x minus 10. So now the time taken originally would have been 240 by x, and the time taken after the change would have been 240 by x minus 10. Now according to this question, the time difference, this time difference, that is tr minus to, is equal to 2 hours. So substituting the values of each, we get x minus 10, 240 minus 240 by x is equal to 2. Get cancelled. This can go into this 5 times. So now we have x square minus 10x is equal to 1200. So x square minus 10x minus 1200 is equal to 0. So now we have this new quadratic equation that we are supposed to solve by splitting minus 10. So what I'll do is I'll split minus 10 into minus 40x plus 30x. Since adding them gives me minus 10 and multiplying these coefficients gives me minus 1200. So I have x into x minus 40 and taking plus 30 as common again, I get x minus 40. So x minus 40 into x plus 30 is equal to 0, which means x is either equal to minus 30 or equal to 40. Since x was a speed, we'll take the positive value. So the original speed of the bus was 40 kmph, that is 40 kilometers per hour. Let's move on to the next question. The next question says the sum of the ages of Vivek and his younger brother Amit is 47 years. Product of their age in years is 550. Find their ages. So if the sum is 47, as we have seen this logic in a lot of questions, this means that if we take anyone's, let's take Amit's age to be x, then Vivek's age would be 47 minus x, since adding them will give us 47. Now according to the question, this product, that is x into 47 minus x, is equal to 550. Let us see. So we get 47x minus x square is equal to 550. So we take all to one side, we get x square minus 47x plus 550 is equal to 0. So now we have the equation x square minus 47x plus 550 is equal to 0. In this we need to split minus 47 such that it will give us a product of positive 550 and a sum of minus 47. So I'll write x square minus 22x minus 25x plus 550 is equal to 0. Taking x as common here, I get x minus 22, and taking minus 25 as common here, again I get x minus 22. So x minus 25 into x minus 22 is equal to 0, which means x is either equal to 22 or x is equal to 25. Now we have two positive values, and since the question was about an age, the answer needs to be positive. But you don't need to be in a dilemma as to why we get two positive values and which of them to take as the age. Now see, we took the age of Amit to be x. However, someone else could have taken the age of Vivek to be x. So in that sense of the way, we can say that both these ages represent the age of the brothers. As it says Vivek and his younger brother, we take it for granted that Vivek is elder. So we take the higher age, that is Vivek's age will be 25 and Amit's age will be 22. Now see, the sum is 47 and the product of these two will be 550. So students, that brings us to the end of our lesson today. But don't worry, the next video is on its way very soon. However, to be notified about it, you need to be subscribed to our channel MidhaGuru and turn the bell notifications on. Apart from that, you can also check out our channel for brilliant and very informative videos of other subjects such as SST, Science, English as well. Until the next video, I'll see you soon. Namaste.